What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. In this video, I'm going to show you why I believe that the coronavirus is not a flu pandemic, but in fact a death panel to kill off senior citizens. See, this so-called virus would not spread so fast like that from one place on the other side of the world to now it's here, boom, in the United States. Look at all the numbers here. This is as of March 21st, 2020. Now, they're claiming that the virus kills the 90% of the victims are elderly. But I'm putting all the pieces together here, guys. It's not a virus, but in fact, it's the pills that these elderly are on. It's got to be something to do with the pills that make them sick, that kill them.
Here's the problems I have with the Affordable Health Care Act. Number one, there is a provision in there that anyone over the age of 74 has to go before what is effectively a death panel. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. It's in there, folks. You're wrong.
These people are booing at this politician, and they don't even know what's in the bill. Who's the actor here? It's definitely not this man. He's being genuinely sincere. I can definitely see that. Look at these actors all booing at this politician. And then CNN covers it. And then wait till you hear what this lady says.
Okay, children. All right, children.
I am 77 years old, and I think it's unconscionable for this politician to tell me that at 74, I will be facing death penalties. Wrong.
I'll be facing a death penalty. Death panel. Death penalty. I mean, death panel. Wrong. And then everybody cheers.
I deal with end-of-life issues on a regular basis. These are heart-rending decisions, and I can tell you there is no such thing as a death panel.
Care takes full effect, the president will appoint a 15-member board called the Independent Payment Advisory Board, or IPAB. The unelected board will have the power to cut $1 trillion out of Medicare however it sees fit. 2 years ago, people who called attention to this provision referred to the board as a death panel, and they were criticized, vilified, and dismissed.
The only death panels, Ms. Palin, are the figurative ones you have inspired with such irresponsible, dangerous, facile, vile hate speech. The death of common sense.
If a patient wanted to have a Medicare consultation about end-of-life issues, they could have it at their request, and the doctor would get reimbursed for it. There's no panel.
But there was a provision in the bill that talks about a board that would decide the most effective measures to provide health care for people.
Some of people's concerns have grown out of bogus claims spread by those whose only agenda is to kill reform at any cost. The best example is the claim made not just by radio and cable talk show hosts, but by prominent politicians, that we plan to set up panels of bureaucrats with the power to kill off senior citizens. Now, such a charge would be laughable if we weren't so cynical and irresponsible. It is a lie, plain and simple.
Is spending $1 million on that last 3 months of life for that patient, would it be better not to lay off those 10 teachers and to make that trade-off in medical costs? But that's called the death panel, and you're not supposed to have that discussion. So you, of course,
that's an interesting thing you just said, which is just the last 3 months in life for one person or something, because we haven't had a discussion of how to allocate that money. It means we lay off 3 teachers to do so. I mean, in other words, we haven't had this type of allocation.
We're making that trade-off because of huge medical costs that are not examined to see which ones actually have no benefit whatsoever.
Well, wait,
and because of pension generosity, we will be laying off over 100,000 teachers, which, I'm very much against that. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
So in this clip, Bill Gates talks about the 2020 report card reducing total world emissions by 20%. This was 10 years ago, as you can see. And is it coincidental that the coronavirus is killing a lot of people right now? And Bill Gates talked about the 2020 report card 10 years ago. Check it out.
So backing up from there, what should the 2020 report card look like? Well, it should have the two elements. We should go through these efficiency measures to start getting reductions. The less we emit, the less that sum will be of CO2, and therefore the less the temperature. But in some ways, the grade we get there, doing things that don't get us all the way to the big reductions, is only equally or maybe even slightly less important than the other, which is the pace of innovation on these breakthroughs. These breakthroughs, we need to move those at full speed. And we can measure that in terms of companies, pilot projects, regulatory things that have been changed.
Last clip I show you, it's Bill Gates on how to solve global poverty and prevent overpopulation. To me, in this interview, it makes absolutely zero sense what Bill Gates says. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Enjoy the video.
This is a very important question to get right, because it was absolutely key for me. When our foundation first started up, it was focused on reproductive health. That was the main thing we did, because I thought, population growth in poor countries is the biggest problem they face. You've got to help mothers who want to limit family size have the tools and education to do that. And I thought that's the only thing that really counts. Well, then I came across articles that showed that the key thing you can do to reduce population growth is actually improve health. And that sounds paradoxical. You think, okay, better health means more kids, not less kids. Well, in fact, what parents are doing is they're trying to have 2 kids survive to adulthood to take care of them. And so the more disease burden there is, the more kids they have to have that high probability. So there's a perfect correlation that as you improve health, within a half generation, the population growth rate goes down. In fact, Hans Rosling here at this conference, in 2 of my favorite speeches.
Did you hear what he said? You improve healthcare and the population growth goes down. Tell me how that makes sense. Tell me how improving healthcare makes the population growth decrease.
Which actually showed that unbelievable correlation that population growth has gone down. Today, where is there high population growth? It's in the places with the worst health conditions, northern Nigeria, northern India. And so the two problems go exactly hand in hand. If we improve health rapidly, we will get the peak population to be as much as 1 billion below the current expected peak. That is about 8.3 billion versus 9.3.
So basically what he's saying is you increase the quality of healthcare and the population growth decreases. By what I'm guessing, by the report card you just saw, by 2020 is 20%. Now, I honestly think there's probably maybe 10 billion people on the planet. I think it's somewhere around 10 billion. And they want to kill off 20% of the world population. And it's looking like it's starting right now. And to me, by Bill Gates saying that he wanted to increase the quality of healthcare to me, I honestly feel like he's talking about the medications and the pills that these elderly are taking. It's called a death panel. All the pills that your grandparents are on. See, my grandfather died at 65. And when he was 64, he started developing back pain. So they got him on all these painkillers. Then they had to put him on some other pills to cope with the symptoms of the pain pills. And then before you know it, he's taking 20 pills a day. Within 6 months of him starting from taking those painkillers to taking 20 pills a day, it killed him in 6 months. Now, how is that not a death panel? It's plain, you know, the easy eye could see the story here. It's the pills that are going to be killing these elderly and the people that take the pills. That's my honest opinion. Out of me doing my own research, my own skepticism, this is my analysis. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I appreciate you watching. Have a nice day.